And guess what? Keyshawn Davis is back in the ring on the same card against Jermaine Ortiz, a guy that has fought Teofimo Lopez. So now you got that type of energy in the gym where these guys are pushing each other to be great. That camaraderie and that type of brotherly love in the gym, I feel that elevates you.
Oh, 100% that elevates you. I mean, think about this, bro. Sparring is hard to get, especially when you got a lot of people in your weight classes that really want to take your crown. It's hard to get sparring. Guys ain't going to your camp. They don't want to see, they don't want you to see what they're working on. So when you got another top level, undefeated champion in your mix, sharpening you up, it doesn't get no better than that. And it just so happens that, yeah, Terrence Crawford might have retired recently, but he's one of those guys that are still come to the gym. He's one of those guys that in Shakur's camp, he pops up and he spars him, whether he's in shape or not. That's the kind of guy he is. So when you have that level of sparring, oh my God, like
in other words, Barak, you know, guys that are at the gym, if Buzz shows up just because he retired, don't think it's sweet. Don't get comfortable. He might put the headgear and gloves on and put paws on you.
No, there's no might. There's no might. He definitely will, and that's what he does. But this is the thing, though. This fight right here, like we was naming a bunch of fights earlier, this fight is, I know it's not 50-50. I think people are leaning towards the bettors. When I say the people, I mean the bettors are leaning towards Shakur Stevenson. But if you think about it, if you look at all of the comments that you see on social media and stuff like that, I think it's kind of almost evenly divided. You know, Teofimo Lopez has proven already to be special with his career right now. I believe he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's already a lineal champion in two divisions. He already beat two guys who are probably going to be Hall of Famers, you know, so he is and was that guy, and he's still young. He's actually a couple of months younger than Shakur. He's still sharp. He's undefeated against southpaws, but now he's fighting the southpaw of all southpaws.
Of course,
you know?
and not only that, and this speaks to why, you know, Shakur is such a cerebral fighter. He knows that, and even his boy Keyshawn has said it. Like, we know what we up against. Shakur knows how good Teofimo is. Like there's this level of wisdom that these young fighters have. Of course he's confident. Of course he's going to say, I'm the best. I'm going to beat Teofimo. But that doesn't mean he's not in a lab studying and working on everything and watching, because he's a smart fighter. So both guys know what they're up against. And I love the fact that Keyshawn Davis, Barak, you know, people are trying to throw out there and fish on him and Shakur eventually fighting because they're in the same weight class. And he put that to bed, clearly saying on Inside Boxing that, hey, look, I want to take over the welterweight division, all right? So, and we know that Shakur, yes, he talked about fighting Conor Bennett, so on and so forth, but he'll tell you himself, listen, I'm not even a 140-pounder. I go back down to 135. So for those that are trying to throw that out there, that fight's not going to happen. And if it ever did, it would probably be down the line at welterweight when there's $50 million on the line. But other than that, those guys are not going to fight each other, but there's always a price. But right now they're showing brotherly love. Hey, I'm moving up to 147. Stop asking about me and Shakur fighting, because it ain't going to happen. I respect that.
Yeah, I definitely respect that as well. And maybe towards the end of their career, when the dollar signs are big and these guys are like 35 years old, maybe then, but who cares? I think there's always a new guy coming up. You know, there's always somebody to fight. And I do think that Jamaine Ortiz is a good test for Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis, I believe he's proven to be special. He's proven to be very powerful. And I like that seems like he's been seeking God for years, right? But within that seeking God, he's still somebody that seems like he'll crash out. You know what I'm saying? He'll crash out on you. He'll disrespect you. Fernando Vargas and his sons, and you're disrespecting a great like Fernando Vargas because you have no chill. You have no filter. You're angry. You bring that into the ring. But now it seems like he's getting closer to God, a little bit more calm. And I think that's going to serve him well in the ring, because he's going to always have that eye of the tiger, you know, but being more calm in the ring only means he's more dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I think now he's going to save his crash outs for inside the ring, and you know, and really punish his fighters. But, you know, you say a test and Jamaine Ortiz, like, first of all, I want to give credit to Keyshawn and his team for coming back with that level of opponent right away.
Absolutely.
I mean, because
right.
you talk about a top guy, you talk about a guy that went neck and neck with Lomachenko. I mean, that fight was a very close fight. There were even people out there saying that they thought he won that fight. We all saw Teofimo Lopez versus Jamaine Ortiz. You're talking about a guy that fights elite fighters and gives them fits and sometimes hard to score. So Keyshawn is going in there against a guy who can potentially beat him, who can potentially make him look bad, right? Meaning Keyshawn is a guy that wants to be great and he wants to be tested and he's not scared to fight anyone. So I love this comeback fight for Keyshawn. Now let's go to really quick touch on Ortiz, Barak. Been at the big stage a couple times, right? Didn't get the nod. Now he's getting another huge opportunity on a big card. We might see the best version of Ortiz.
I mean, I think we always see the best version of Ortiz. There's obviously things he could have did better. You know, in that fight against Teofimo Lopez, he was going backwards a lot, even though it was beautiful. I'm talking about beautiful defense, beautiful counterpunching. He made Teo come to him. I think those judges did not want to see that kind of style, not in Vegas. But a fighter who makes close fights with great fighters obviously is great. So like you said, this is a good test for both of them actually. But yeah, Keyshawn really picked a killer in there.
And here's an opportunity that Keyshawn has. We saw what he's been able to do in the ring. Look, he picked up a world title with a left hook to the body, ended the fight with a body shot knockout. He's a guy that wants to hurt you, wants to stop you, fan-friendly fighter. He's already has a major following in his hometown of Virginia. People come out for him. If he can hurt a guy like Ortiz, right, a guy that is elusive, hard to hit, has given top-level fighters fits, I think that would be a hell of a statement.
Never been stopped.
Never been stopped. And I think that's what the type of finish that Keyshawn Davis is going for this one, Barak. I think he has an opportunity not only to beat a credible threat, but to do it in a fashion that nobody else has done it amongst his peers.
Yeah, and I believe that's what he always goes for anyway. I really believe that Keyshawn goes for the knockout in every fight. He'll stand there and trade with you. He has no problem counterpunching. He has no problem walking you down. And even if you want to pressure him, he'll counterpunch you. I think Ortiz is going to come at his best. His defense is going to be spectacular. And I want to see how Keyshawn handles the defense of Jamaine Ortiz, which I thought was superb against Teofimo Lopez.
That's why I love this matchup. That's why I think this fight is going to be so good, because I don't see, when I think about Keyshawn's resume, I think he has a hell of a resume. I don't think he's fought a guy that's that defensive, that's that elusive.
No, and the only wild card maybe is that Jermaine Ortiz has been fighting at 140 pounds for about 3 years, going on 4 years. But if you look at Keyshawn, he looked like he was 140 pounds many years ago. You know, he's a big guy. He's the kind of guy that could probably go up to 147 pounds.
Yeah, maybe eventually 154 later on in his career. So, and he's already said that. He's already putting that out there. I want to fight. I want to conquer the 147-pound division. So I guess we'll see if he looks strong at 140 and really dominates. Then that'll make people more confident in him moving up to 147.